Hello all, this is Tarun Raj and my team members Raghuram and Irfana Afrin K from Kumaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore. We have attended an internship on Emertxe platform. So at the end of the internship, we have done a project on car BlackBox. So let us discuss about the learnings during the internship and about the project. Here comes the learnings of during the internship. We have gone through various topics related which is required and for the embedded systems. The intern started with the programming language which is must to know the operating system. I learned embedded C programming language commencing from the basics of it to the considerable extent. As listed here, structures, data types, operators, functions, arrays, pointers, loops, and conditional statements. Coming to the hardware part, we have gone through the basics of embedded systems and what are the applications of it. What are the components used here, such as microcontrollers as listed here, and also the difference between microcontroller and the microprocessor were also got cleared while learning. Next comes the PIC SIM LAB and MPLAB X IDE. These are the software required to test the projects. Coming to the peripherals, microcontroller peripherals are parts of the device so that serve as a specific purpose which help the microcontroller in doing the task. Some of the common microcontroller peripherals are timers, ADC that is analog to digital converters, serial peripheral interfaces and etc. And the testing experience were enormous and it was experiencing good to us to know about the microcontrollers. BlackBox. So while starting with the project in introduction, so BlackBox is an electronic device which is capable of recording the various types of information from the vehicle as listed here, that is speed, driving frequency, location and the percentage of the engine throttle. And also it can also record the values such as car acceleration, how sharply the driver takes a corner. The other name of the black box is called the event data recorder. So to elaborate, the project is about simulating the basic functions of the car black box using a microcontroller called PIC 16F877A. And the requirements are listed here, such as the softwares like MPLAB X IDE and PIC SIM LAB. The microcontroller we are going to use is PIC 16F877A. Then CLCD, that is character liquid crystal display, and the timer is one of the peripheral of the microcontroller, and the tactile switches. The program language used here is C programming language. So at first, while starting the project, the preparatory phase is the installation of the requiring software. The first is the MPLAB X IDE. It is an integrated development environment for the development of embedded application on various microcontrollers. It has particularly advantage such as coding speed, easy to understand, and it is highly portable. And next comes the PIC SIM LAB. So it is a real-time evaluator of development boards with integrated with various debuggers. PIC SIM LAB have integration with Arduino and other boards for the programming of the microcontrollers. As I said, we have learned the C programming language. To share the knowledge on it, first we have gone through the basics, that is structures of the C program. It starts with the document section, and second as definition section, and main function, preprocessor section or the link session, global declaration session, and user defined function session, and at last the main function declaration section. Here comes the data types in the C programming language. The first is the user defined data types such as structure, union and enum. Primary data types such as integers, characters, float and double values. And the secondary data structures called array, pointer and the function. And the operators in the programming language are various and broadly classified into four types such as arithmetic, relational, assignment and the logical. As listed here, these are the operators used in various purposes. The conditional statements. There are many conditional statements used in the programming such as for, while, if else, nested if, return, switch and break. But for this project we have used only few of those, and let us have an example for those conditional statements such as for loop and while loop. So here is the picture of the for loop which depicts the flow of it. First we start with the initialization expression. It goes for the testing. If the statement is true, then it goes for the next process of loop and updating the expression. If it is false, it terminates the code. And then as in the second picture, it is while loop. Again it comes to the same model. If it is true, it will go on with the code, and if it is false, it terminates it.
Next, we have seen about what is an embedded system is. Actually, an embedded system is a microprocessor-based computer hardware system with software that is designed to perform a dedicated function, either as an independent system or as a part of large system. At the core is an integrated circuit designed to carry out computation for real-time operations. So some of the types of embedded systems are real-time embedded systems, network embedded systems, standalone embedded system, and mobile embedded system. So real-time embedded system gives the output in a specific time. So it basically follows deadlines to complete the task, where network embedded system is related to network interfaces so that it can be either in local area or the internet or wide area, for example, office security systems. Standalone embedded system is a system that works by itself and does not need a host system like computer. It takes digital or analog as input and do some processing to them and the output data as it is attached to the output service. For example, MP3 players, video game consoles and digital cameras. Mobile embedded systems are used in portable embedded devices like cell phones, mobiles, digital cameras and MP3 players. So some of the real-time aspects are hard real-time, firm real-time, and soft real-time. Hard real-time is the result is obtained after the deadline. The system is considered to have a failed completely and it is life critical. Example, ABS and pacemaker. Where firm real-time, it is similar to the hard real-time, but it is not life critical. Example, moon rover, satellite-based tracking. Software real-time system, if the result is obtained after the deadline, the system is considered to be success. Example, ATM and mobile communication. So let us look into the what is a microcontroller is. It is a small and low-cost microcomputer which is designed to perform the specific task of embedded system like displaying washing machine, microwave ovens, etc. It consists of CPU, timer, GPIO ports, memory units like RAM, ROM, and other peripherals. So the microcontroller we have seen in this internship is PIC 16F8778. PIC 16F8778 is a microcontroller built by Microchip Technology. The operating voltage is between 4.2 volts to 5.5 volts. If you provided voltage more than 5.5 volts, it may get damaged. It has a smaller 35 instruction set. It can operate up to 20 MHz frequency. LED, light emitting diode, an electrical current passes through a microchip which illuminates the tiny light source as we call LEDs and the result is visible light. Anode should be connected to VDD and the cathode should be connected to the ground. Connect the LED to the resistor on any side to prevent the damage of the LED. CLCD, which is called as character liquid crystal display. It can display all the ASCII characters and some special characters. There are two types of communication mode in this, 4-bit mode and 8-bit mode. And a polling method and the delay methods are in this. After passing data or instruction D7 or pin 14 is read, if it falls to 0, that means processing is done and next set of instruction or data is readily passed. Whereas in delay method, after passing data or instruction, delay is given and then the next set of instruction or data is ready to pass. Here, pin 1 is connected to ground and pin 2 is connected to VDD. Pin 3 is used to control and contrast of the CLCD display. Pin 4 is register select bit. If 0 is passed, then it will take the 8-bit data line as instruction. If 1 is passed, then it will take the 8-bit data line as data to print in the CLCD. A timer is a specialized type of clock which is used to measure time intervals. The width of the register of timer is called as resolution. Each up or down counter is called as tick. The measure of the time which is responsible for tick is called as quantum. There are many modes such as counter, pulse width modulation, and pulse generator.
Next, we look into the other component named a tactile switch, which is nothing but a push button. It is used as an input device. It is used to give a it give us a digital signal, so that based on the signal, the output signal will be generated. Next slide. Yeah. In this tactile switch, there are two modes of triggering, that is edge triggering and level triggering. Edge triggering is nothing but if the switch is pressed, then it is an edge triggering. If this pressed once, it is called as an edge triggering, and if the switch is pressed for a continuous for a long time, it is called level switching, level triggering. For example, switching off the TV is an edge triggering, whereas increasing or decreasing the volume button in TV is an example for level triggering. Yeah, in this tactile switch, we will face some effect called bouncing effect, which is when the switch is toggled, contacts have to be physically moved from one position to to another. That which is nothing but move from 0 to 1. So as the component of the switch settle in their new position, they mechanically debounce, which causes the underlying circuit to be open and closed several times. When we close or release tactile switch, it tends to literally bounce upon method contact. This is called bouncing effect. To overcome this, we will use a concept called debouncing, which can be implemented in both hardware or in software method. Using in software method, we will give you some delay of 20 to 50 millisecond to avoid such delay, avoid such errors. Yeah, next, interrupts. Interrupts is nothing but a signal emitted by hardware or software when a process or an event needs an immediate action. For example, if the process is running at a sequence, if the sudden event or happens, it will respond according to it. For such events, there is a concept called interrupt service routine. It once it occurs, then the code inside that particular interrupt loop will be executed at any point of the time. So in any of our real-time applications, this interrupts plays a very vital role. Yeah. In this interrupts, there are two types: software and hardware. Software can be generated by allowing timers and counters registers in microcontrollers and microprocessors, whereas a hardware interrupt can be enabled using, like, if tactile switch is pressed, then this interrupt will be switched on. Like that, the process like that can be implemented using hardware interrupt, whereas software interrupt can be implemented by using timers, counters, registers, etc. And other two types of interrupts were non-maskable and maskable interrupts. Non-maskable interrupts cannot be displayed or ignored by instruction set of CPUs, whereas maskable interrupts can be disabled or ignored by the instruction set of CPUs. That is the main key difference between non-maskable and maskable interrupts. Next slide. Yeah. For the project of a BlackBox, we done the coding in MPLAB X IDE. So in that we first created a main file and included the regarding header files, like for I2C, for ADC, for ISR functions, and we done the coding for the same. and we once we build the solution, we got the message like build was done successful. So after this part, actually we extracted the .hex file, which is to be uploaded in a microcontroller microprocessor for further processing. We extracted the .hex file from this MPLAB software and added it to the PIC SIM LAB simulator, which will be shown now. Yeah, this is the simulation which we done in PIC SIM LAB. We can see that there are this board is of controls of uses of a PIC 16F 877A microcontroller, which runs at 20 megahertz frequency, and we actually a car BlackBox is a device which collects the data and stores it for the further processing. So in that we can see that the time is displayed, and E means indicates that the car is on on or off, and it indicates the gear switching, and it indicates the speed of the vehicle. Here the push buttons are used for the gear shifting, like push buttons, namely RB2 and RB1 for push for gear shifting, and push buttons RB3 and RB4 is for navigating up and down the arrows, and potentiometer is used to control the speed of the vehicle in a vehicle. The data of these particular sensors is displayed in this particular display, and also to read the data, like to extract the data from this black box, it requires a password. In our simulation, we given a password as 2424. Once the password is correct, it takes us to this screen where we can view log, or we can clear the log, or also we can change the password accordingly. The moment of the selection can be done using the push buttons for navigations. Like once we click into the view log, we can able to see the at which time, at particular time, what is the speed and what is the gear at which the vehicle is traveled. Like that, we can able to see the various events, like various events. So next, this project is done using a PIC 16F 877A microcontroller. We actually done many test cases. We done many test cases over here, and passed most of our test cases successfully. Next slide, Tarun. Yeah, for which we were very thankful for attending this internship, which was provided by Emertxe. We thank one and all who are watching this. Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. Thank you.